And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at a new set, well, newish, it came out last year, but a newer set for Dice Masters for the Dungeons & Dragons. I believe this is the third set for Dungeons & Dragons Dice Masters. This is the Tomb of Annihilation. WizKids has been making other games in this kind of framework in Dungeons & Dragons. Dungeons & Dragons Dice Masters is probably the best game version of Dice Masters that's out there. So a lot more stuff, but this one was set up and so that it comes in kind of draft packs. So the way draft packs work is you're going to be able to have these dice out there, you're going to draft characters. So when you get these draft packs, you're going to get some random cards in them, but you're also going to be getting 2 dice for each of those cards. So you're not going to get stuck with stuff you can't use. It's a pretty neat way to be able to play the game. So let's take a look at what's in one of these draft packs. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is just kind of go through a lot of different cards that are involved in this set. So there's some new basic action cards. I like the heavy armor. One of the things I like about this heavy armor is that it blocks overcrush, which is a nice thing. There's a decent amount of overcrush in this set. Or the Holy Avenger, which gives you a +4 to attack. So there's a lot of different new basic action cards here where you pick 2 dice from someone else and you basically can borrow their dice for a turn. Insect Plague. By the way, I'm not as big of a fan as this. These foil cards here are starting to annoy me, I think, in gameplay. They're just harder to see. On camera, that looks pretty cool, but it does make it harder to read. But I do like that this basically, the Insect Plague lets you bring out a whole bunch of NPCs as quickly as you can. Cone of Cold, Burning Hands. We're starting to see some, very common things from Dungeons & Dragons show up, and nothing more. So, by the way, I do like this one. Choose 1, draw 2 dice from your bag and roll them. Or prep 2 dice from your bag. That's a very easy thing. It kind of makes me go back all the way to Quarriors. This is like one of the basic dice from Quarriors. Anyway, Magic Missile. Yay! I mean, it's okay. It's 2 damage to target player, dice or player, and do extra damage to a character die equal to the level of your highest level adventure in the field. That's cool. It is a nice die, though. You can just pop your opponent for 2 damage. Let's start taking a look at everything else now. This is the only thing with no text in the game, the Allosaurs. Here we have a Tomb Guardian and an Amber Golem. Now these have Fabricate. So Fabricate basically means you are making these by killing other dice. So like this guy costs 6, but I can put this guy out if I kill stuff that costs 5 for free. That's actually a really interesting idea. I like the idea of being able to use other people to make these. It's really kind of gross if you think about it, but these constructs are a lot of fun. We have a Basilisk in the game now who's deadly, good for taking out your opponents. Then we also have traps. Now traps, you put them in your field zone when you use the trap, and it gets sent to your use pile after the trap is triggered, and each trap is going to be triggered by different things. This one, when your opponent fields a level 2 character die. This one here, when your opponent would roll 2 or more of the same non-NPC character dice at the same time, and then something happens. So like here, you can get rid of one of those dice. Here, when they field a level character 2 dice, you can choose one of your character dice that costs 2 or less, and they go to your field zone. So this sort of thing is, I like these traps a lot. There's things like this here, also where the Tomb Dwarf makes your trap dice cost 2 less. We have a Dragon Statue trap. When someone attacks you, I can pay X to do X damage to all opposing character dice. That's a trap that they see coming. The Skeleton Key here. When fielded, you can move a target trap die to its owner's use pile, so get rid of traps. So that's neat. There's also more characters with Swarm here. This one's interesting. If they're level 2 or 3, they have to attack each turn. But considering it only costs 1, is one of the few things in the game that cost 1. I don't know that I would use them. More guys with Swarm. This one's interesting just from a color perspective. I find it odd that the colors here are different, but whatever. Queen Grabstack. I like that name. I don't know everything about all the Dungeons & Dragons universes. I just think that name itself is funny. And this one, when one of your character's swarm ability is triggered, you draw 2 dice instead of 1. When one of your characters. So she's really good with working with swarms. Here we have an energy drain and someone with a tune. Now, there's a lot of cards in this set with a tune. So when Attune, when they're active, if you use an action die, deal 1 damage to a target player character die. Really like this Attune thing because it allows you to, I'm always a big fan of action dice anyway, and anything that allows me to use more of them makes me happy. So here we have Captain Laxlar, and then this one I find interesting. Then we have Captain Elok Jarhawan, who has a different die than these guys do, but it is essentially the exact same die. It's just a darker color. I'm not quite sure. I mean, even the way they are looking and everything else is pretty similar. I like this guy. He gets gear +3, and they're both pirates. I don't know. I'm not sure what the reasoning behind this is. Like, why is this guy just not another one of these guys? Anyway, then we got people with experience. Here, when an evil characters field it, you spin it up 1. This guy is anti-evil. More characters. Paladins are nice. You can't be targeted by evil characters. And then we have a pure blood here. This is one of the ultra rares that I got. When she's active, when you purchase an action die, triggered the attune ability of it. That's of all your active character dice. So if you have it, she's really good for attune, and she's only 2, which is a pretty neat idea. Here's a really powerful dude. He costs 7. He has attune, and he costs 2 less to purchase for each construct, undead, trap, or Rosni die in your field zone to a minimum of 3. So he can be a lot cheaper, and considering he's a 6/9, that's a pretty powerful guy to bring out. He's a terrifying lich too here. I like this one. When fielded, resolve the double asterisk effect of a basic action die. I'm enjoying that Dungeon Dice Masters is more and more pushing these basic action ones. Then we got some enclaves. This guy has a ton of text on this one. It's almost too small to read. And then more people here with attune, getting more experience tokens. If you have an active character die with attune, this person costs 1 less to purchase, which is pretty neat. You're paying 1 for a 2/3 character. I like that. A Frost Giant, your opposing character dice can't attack, but they can pay 1 per character to ignore this effect. So he makes it harder for people to attack you. We got Gold Dragons with the breath weapons. A Goliath Fighter. A Green Devil Mask. That's another trap that can be triggered. Human Outlanders. Queen Grab Stab. Well, you've already seen one of these. I'm just kind of at this point just going through the cards real quickly. There's nothing here that's like super distinctive, but it just kind of just shows you some of the stuff that's in the game. And a lot of these guys have special abilities, and just kind of like zooming through these. I do like that there's dinosaurs in this set. I don't know why they're there, but they're a lot of fun. I also like her thing, surrounded by fools. Sorry, ma'am. We got zombies in the game, and Tyrannosaurus zombies, which is kind of interesting. I didn't know that was a thing, but this guy, when he's fielded, all zombie character dice come out at level 2. That's pretty cool. More dinosaurs and more frost giants. All right, let's jump to my 10 favorite cards in this set, or at least of the ones that I got. So we'll start with this one, which is one of the ultra rares I got, which again has that foil on it. Move each dragon character in your use pile to the field zone at level 3. That's it. It's a really cheap die, and it's really specific, but I really enjoy it. Also, you can pay. It makes energy characters cheaper, but just this fact that you can bring your dragons out at level 3. Ah, nice. Then I have the Triceratops here. It can't be blocked by level 1, and Overcrush. Really simple character, but pretty powerful. You're going to stop him. You better stop him with something good. Number 8, the Goliath. I tend to like Goliath characters anyway in Dungeons & Dragons. And this one here, all the character dice get +1 attack and defense for each equipment. I just like that. I like that he has experience. He's a kind of basic character, 3/3, pretty cheap to field. But if you give him some equipment, he can go up pretty quickly. Then we have Fenthaza. When she's fielded, she swaps someone's attack and defense. That's pretty neat. I like that. It can be your own guy or someone else's. And then, very similar, 2 of hers. When fielded, all my shield character dice have attack equal to their defense. So you have some people with some pretty strong defense, and suddenly their attack is really powerful. That makes her very useful. One of the constructs made my top 5 here. I like this guy. I like the fabricate thing anyway. But when he's active, you can redirect 1 damage from you to your stone golem each turn. So considering he has, if you get him at level 3, 7, I like the idea of not hurting me, and this guy here is protecting me. That's a lot of fun. 2 basic action cards made my top 4. One is the Scorching Ray, where you just draw a die and deal damage to the target character die or player equal to its purchase cost. That's neat. I like that. You get a 6 or 7 character die, a cost in your bag, and you're hitting your opponent with that. I love any kind of time where there's something that could be amazing. And then I also like the improvised weapon, where you roll a die from the use pile. If it's a character face, target character die gets plus XA, where X is the rolled face's attack. That's just a neat idea. You can pull another die and use it and add to the attack. It's a cool thing, and it's only a 1. If I'm playing right now, these are the 2 I'm bringing with me. Then my number 2 card is a doppelganger, because I just love this sort of stuff. I love any kind of shapeshift or whatever. This guy just becomes another die, and that's just something I like a lot. And then surprisingly, even though this is not the theme I like too much, zombie is my number 1 favorite one from this one. Basically because if he KOs an NPC character die, I have another zombie come out. And I just like the fact that you can get all 4 of your zombies out pretty quickly. And not to mention, you can also spin your characters up 1 level, so you can just keep bringing out zombies. If I'm playing with zombie, I'm bringing 4 of them for sure. Those are my favorite cards from this set. Okay, so taking a look at the dice for this set are really colorful, and I don't know, I just really like all of them. I especially like these orange dice here. They just look bright, the orange and green. I don't care about any football teams or anything, but I just like how those Pacific dice look. The translucent red ones look good too. I have no idea how many different colors these guys have with dice at this point, but there's no die here that's hard to read. A couple of them are boring. A couple of the symbols are not so exciting, but then there's other ones that kind of make up for it that just look really good. As always, I like my Dice Master dice. Okay, well that's pretty much it. I like this set. I like all Dice Master sets, so I like the basic action cards in this one a lot. They're some of my favorite basic action cards in any set. I mean, I like Magic Missile because of the name, but I like some of the other ones a lot. Those top 10 cards that I showed you, I'll use some of those basic actions even in a Marvel superhero game. Although I'm kind of keeping my Dungeons & Dragons and Marvel stuff separate at this point because thematically this feels a little bit better to me. It's not a big deal, just the cards. But I like the traps a lot. I like Attune a lot. There's a lot of great things in this set. It's a really solid set, and I like the draft pack style. That's it. Tomb of Annihilation, Dice Masters. Dice Tower Judgment, approved!
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door.